This is the Uprising Revival. Welcome to today's show. Eminem, or the clone of Eminem, I should say, has returned once again to grace us with the pure diarrhea that comes out of his mouth, or her mouth, or whatever mouth this thing is, because we know that this thing has gone through the ringer. But I guess they recharged its graphene batteries and they sent Eminem back out there for Curtain Call 2. I must have missed the memo on Curtain Call 1, as did most of the world. But Curtain Call 2, apparently a sequel album here. I have to cover the cover of this album because these are the things that are right in front of people's faces that they don't notice. Now, these people are all parts of secret societies. They all worship Satan, as crazy as that sounds, and they show you this through signs and symbols all the time. Now, a lot of them also just tell you this flat out in their songs, in their music videos, and with the symbols that they constantly show us and flash on the TV screen whenever they're on TV or on a magazine cover. But people don't seem to understand it. Now, the celebrities play a huge role in this. They are the engineers in this ship. They're the ones who engineer the behavior of society and the thoughts of society through their so-called celebrity. That's what they do. So Eminem has always been a social engineer for people. I mean, suddenly he was coming out with albums about Donald Trump and igniting the Civil War and all this stuff. That's what these puppets do. Their job is to do what they're told from their handlers. Their handlers are people that you would never know or ever see. They don't want to be shown. They have no problem hiding, living in riches and being as wealthy as possible because they don't want to deal with anyone coming after them. So they do all their stuff through these people. They create these people. They give these people so-called power here on Earth. So Eminem in the past, I've obviously covered him having that black smoke go inside him, right? Wonder what that could have been, becoming demonically possessed. Probably most famously his 3 a.m. where he's taking his bloodbath ritual, which ties into everything I've covered on this channel or on a channel before, where he's taking his bloodbath at 3 a.m. and 3 a.m. is usually the hour, the ritual hour for these people. But let's start with the obvious. I mean, where do we begin when we look at this album cover? Okay, well, we have him right off the bat so nicely just doing all-seeing eye symbolism while putting the devil horns right over his eyes. But this is a huge coincidence too, obviously we've seen this guy do this symbol before. And we've seen other people like Machine Gun Kelly do the same thing where they put the devil horns over their forehead and make the all-seeing eye symbol with it. But we're supposed to believe, again, that this is trolling. He's trolling A Time for Judgment, apparently. He's trolling a few YouTubers that are left on the planet that get, 10,000, 20,000 views. Because, these guys who get millions upon millions of hundreds of millions of views really care so much about us. Now, this is how the occult operates. They show you this stuff in front of everyone's face. This has to do with universal law and sigil magic. Okay? Right in front of your face here, he's doing the all-seeing eye. Where do you see the all-seeing eye? Well, you see it on the back of the dollar bill. You see it everywhere. But people don't realize it's the eye of Lucifer. Yeah, the all-seeing eye. And of course, above him, right above his devil horns, you see 2 pentagrams. Now you might think, wow, he's got stars on there. He always wanted to reach for the stars, right? He always wanted to be on the Dallas Cowboys. He grew up admiring Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman. Oh, no. These would be pentagrams. Now, our society has become indoctrinated with symbols like this, and people roll their eyes when they hear me even talk about it. They're like, that's not a pentagram because the lines aren't going through it. It's the points in the star, okay? This is a pentagram. This is how they get away with it. I mean, if every single thing had the lines through it, like, the American flag, right? I mean, because everything has the stars in it, people might get a little suspicious, but you'd think they'd be a little suspicious by seeing the star all the time, being that almost every corporate logo, every state flag has the stars on it. But we're supposed to believe that it has to, the stars and stripes, wink, wink, that it has something to do with, stars in the sky. Meanwhile, they don't look like that, do they? When you look at a telescope and you see stars, do they look like a bunch of these things sitting in the sky? Right? I mean, this isn't Super Mario Brothers, okay? The world that we live in, It might feel like it. Super Mario Brothers might be more real than the world we're actually living in. That's how upside down this all has become. But those would be pentagrams. So he has the pentagrams. He has the devil horns, the all-seeing eye. And you might notice in the bottom here, I mean, this isn't obvious or anything. You have the 3 and the 3, as in 33. So what does the 3 have to do with anything? I mean, I'm looking here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I see it called curtain call 2, not curtain call 33 or curtain call 3. But no, we just have the 33 at the bottom. This, of course, has to do with Freemasonry. These are all Masonic puppets. This is how they become indoctrinated in the occult. People are like, how do you become a member of the... Well, you start in Freemasonry. And there's a lodge in every town in America and pretty much in the world. And they're there to indoctrinate. Now, you might know someone who's a Mason. They're sworn to secrecy, so they're never going to tell you. But most of them don't even get to a level. Most people. The celebrities obviously do. But, you might know a guy, he's like a second-degree Mason. He doesn't know what's going on. He's done some embarrassing rituals where he's gotten in his underwear, where he's had skid marks, and he's had to sit there with a blindfold on, and somebody's held a sword up to his throat. Yeah, these are the things they do. And he said, hey, I'll join. Okay, I'll swear to secrecy. And then he never goes further because he's creeped out, but he realizes he's screwed and he can't leave. But these people who end up going further in Freemasonry, you go upstairs and you evolve in Freemasonry, they end up learning Lucifer is the god of the world. They read the Bible invertedly. And this is how they indoctrinate celebrities, all these people. Now, most celebrities are born into covens. Their parents are usually covens. That's why all these celebrities are related to each other. Like, oh, their parents were famous. Oh, and they just happen to be real talented actors too. That's how this whole system works. It's a system of control. But anyway, 33 is a very significant number to Freemasons. Obviously, it represents 33, 1/3 of the fallen angels, but also to them, they believe that 33 is the age that Jesus Christ was crucified, and 33 is the highest level you could get to in Freemasonry before evolving above that, which ends up being in other secret societies, whatever. So he's got the 33 there for a reason, because we always see the 33. I don't think he's a Larry Bird fan or Patrick Ewing fan. Maybe that's why he's like, you know what? I'd like to have 33 on the cover for Larry Bird. Oh, okay. Now, another thing you'll see on the cover is a nuke going down into what appears to be Detroit, from what I looked up. And some people were saying it was New York, but it appears to be Detroit because he's from Detroit. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, so I won't even touch on that. But you also see the demon, of course, coming out of his ear. This is a guy who is demonically possessed. So they're letting you know flat out that he's demon possessed. That's why there's a demon coming out of his ear, going in and out. And at the top here, you'll see some insignia, some crests that you might have seen before. Now, you might think over in the left corner, he's a New Orleans Saints fan, right? But then you're like confused because you see that. You're like, is he like the New Orleans Saints, the football team? Because he's got stars. So is he a Dallas Cowboy fan? Oh, right, because all these symbols have meanings like that. So this right here is not the New Orleans Saint symbol. You may have seen this before. It's called the Fleur de Lis. And if I'm saying it wrong, pardon my French. But it's a French word, Fleur de Lis. And you probably have seen it on Brad Pitt's ring before, because Brad Pitt's one of them. Okay? And let me tell you, this is from the Midnight Freemason website, which is where a lot of Freemasons get together, probably sniff each other's rectums and talk about Freemasonry and the fellowship. But they also give away a lot of their information. And I'll show you how this symbol is connected to Baal worship. So the Fleur de Lis can be traced back to ancient Babylon. Oh, wow. And we're in Mystery Babylon. So the Sumerians worshiped 3 primary gods based upon Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. These 3 gods represented a trinity for them. Nimrod was also known by several names, one of which was Kronos, which means the horned one. The meaning of the name Kronos, the horned one, as applied to Nimrod, fully explains the origin of the Fleur de Lis. 3 horns frequently occurred among the Nineveh sculptures, the gigantic horned bull representing the great divinities. The same word that signified a ruler or prince, Baal. Oh, so it has to do with Baal worship. But they're not Satanists because they say the word God. And so does Beyonce, and so does Eminem. They all say the word God. So the zombies out there think that they're talking about our Father in heaven. No, they're talking about their God, the one they worship, the fallen one, the fallen angels. They do not worship Yahweh. They worship Lucifer. So that's what the symbol means. And then on the other side, you'll see what looks like a lion. Now, the lion can be traced back to a lot of different secret societies. We trace back to a lot of things. Obviously, the Rothschild crest, most significantly known for having the lions. But in Freemasonry, of course, there is the king of the beasts. You know, the king of the beasts. What does that sound like? Which has significance in Freemasonry, and the lion's paw, which is one of the grips that the Master Masons use to pretty much say an important form found among Freemasons, is the definition, would be the lion's paw, or grip formed by placing the fingers on the form of a cat in the form of a cat's paw. The Freemason is introduced to the symbol of the lion's paw during the Master Mason's degree. By the strong grip lion's paw, he is raised again to a new life. The Mason firmly grasps the right hand of a fellow Mason. The thumbs of the hands are interlaced. Now, obviously, he's just showing the lion here. You could be looking at that as if, oh, well, that doesn't really mean that. But it is a symbol used in Freemasonry. It is a symbol used in a lot of secret societies. The lion also has significance in the Bible as well. But the King of Beasts is the most common theme that you'll see in Freemasonry when it comes to using the lion. So you have those insignias in there. You also even have Jason Voorhees make a cameo at the bottom. But of course, he's only showing one eye. You know, as if it wasn't obvious enough. They just have Jason Voorhees at the bottom, just poking his eye out. Jason Voorhees also wanted to be an optometrist, but failed, so he decided to drown himself in the lake, Camp Crystal Lake, and then come up every summer and kill lifeguards or people who were just running around the beach because he failed at optometry. So there's your motive for Jason Voorhees, because apparently he loves his eyeball too, because all these people just are obsessed with one eye. Just eyeballs, eyeballs, eyeballs on their shirts, on their jackets, in their music videos, on their album covers, and they flash them in all their videos, but nobody seems to understand. It's only on the back of your dollar bill what it represents. They think it's all a giant coincidence. Yeah, these guys all went to school to become eye doctors. They have they have filthy thoughts about eyeballs all the time. They're just obsessed. It's a fetish of theirs. I mean, people don't see this stuff with the signs and the symbols. You know, there's no stretch when it comes to the all-seeing eye. It's not like the all-seeing eye. Ooh, the Illuminati. Oh, it's a stretch. It's on the back of the dollar bill. The pyramid with the eyeball. Why would it be a stretch? Why would it even be there in the first place? Why do these people constantly show it and use it? Oh, right, because they're trolling. Oh, okay. If your brain only goes as far as thinking that, then you don't have a brain in your head. So this is Eminem. I'm sure his clone. Curtain Call 2. But he's got 33 right on the bottom. And I'm sure there's significance to the pinball numbers in gematria or something, I'm sure. I know that upside down, if you flip the words, one of them is hellish. No, the one on the right side, 771534. If you flip it upside down and reverse it or whatever, it's supposed to be hellish. I don't know. That's what I read. But this is just the basic nonsense that these people constantly push that people seem to not see. The all-seeing eyes, the devil horns, the pentagrams, the 33, right? You have their crests on there that people would just automatically ignore. The insignias, they just automatically don't have a clue. They just see it, and they're like, oh, yeah, what is he, like the New Orleans Saints? Right? You have demons flying out of their ears, and you have cities being nuked. So this is normal. It's everything to do with Slim Shady or any of these stupid songs this guy comes out with. All of them. All engineering the masses. I thank you guys for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless you and your families.